All right, we've got a quorum that I'm verifying. I'm calling the meeting to order. We have a dual advertised meeting tonight, 2026 budget hearing and 2026 capital improvement plan hearing. Taking a look at the minutes from the March 4th, 2025 meeting. Is there any question, change, or do I have a motion that they be approved?
Make a motion we approve.
Second.
All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right,
Tell me the date one more time.
that is March 4th, the March 4th, 2025 meeting.
Got it?
We are going to make a note. The next note is that on the February 4th, 2025 meeting, there was the transfer of funds, and it went from the firefighting fund to the rainy day fund. And let's see.
I think, and I repeated it back to you, but we must have both just said it wrong.
Right, I
So-
believe we did.
So from the firefighting,
Yes. To, fortunately, the resolution itself said exactly what needed to be done.
got it. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. That's fine, because it took from February to September for me to realize it. All right, there's nobody in here to have for any public input. Taking a look at the 2026 budget. It's pretty much along the same line as the 2025 budget. Let's see here. The salaries will go over when we get down to Form 17. If we run short on any of this, there is the rainy day fund that we could get an additional appropriation for to be able to float beyond what we are appropriating, but I do not foresee any problems. Let's see here. Right here. The fire protection contracts are for just about $20,500 per city of Bern and per Monroe.
A little higher than last year.
Yeah, just a little higher, 3 to 4%. Monroe Volunteer Fire Department. Cumulative fire fund, we're maintaining that at $25,000 per unit that we just mentioned, city of Bern, so that's a total of $50,000. We have just a little bit more than $50,000 that's going to be coming in. Library card vouchers and Bacon on $11,000.
People are still paying
They are still paying.
$10.
They're still paying $10 per card, and the township is making up the difference, which $82 for one. It's right around $80 for if it's the city of Bern or if it's Adams Public Library System.
Great.
The telephone amount got lowered. Telephone/internet amount got lowered a little bit because of the way Brightspeed got set up, and we'll pay our respects to Brightspeed when we come to the credit card policy. I was hoping to just go without having one, but they've made it impossible. Let's see, township assistance. There is, and it is part of the Form 17 with the salaries, there is a raise for the township assistance investigator that looks into the township assistance claims. And just as a reminder, whether there's a claim or not, if somebody comes, there's work that's done to investigate their livelihood, how legitimate it is. Would you have a question? Okay. under the general fund, those categories are, as it says, estimates, as long as it's within personnel services, and then if it's within supplies, or then if it's within services and charges, we're good to go with that. Like I said, there's always the rainy day fund, which when it was established, set up to include pretty much anything that is allowed by statute.
Is there any exemptions from that?
I can't think of it. As soon as I started that statement, I cannot think of it.
Okay.
Because the wording was inclusive on what's allowed, we can do.
Okay.
I've got the itemization, and then we have the budget form 3, which this is what was advertised. It should be the next thing in your packet. It's what was advertised on Gateway on the internet, and it's got a real good rundown here of the budget estimate itself, the budget estimate itself, the maximum estimated funds to be raised, as in we are raising for the general fund, we're raising in taxes a third of what's being budgeted because we have Trust Indiana interest, which is still coming in at a good $600 to $700 a month. And also we have the local income tax, which is, I don't have it in front of me, but that's a healthy amount. So that's the good thing as far as, yes, there are taxes, local income taxes going towards this, but we've got a healthy coming in for some of these capital improvement projects we'll be talking about from Trust Indiana. Let's see, and you can take a look over number 6, line number 6, the levy percentage, not budgeted, but levy percentages. Take a look, the general fund, the levy's going down by 27%. The township fire and EMS is going down by 16%. The library, which is the smallest, is going up $4,000, so it kind of skews the percentage on that. It's going up 51%. But we're taking some of that from the general fund because it's very healthy. Any questions on these? And I just realized it does not have the totals, but we're holding within or even a little bit less budgeted. I saw one of the articles in one of the local papers had that Monroe Township had the second highest budget. That does not mean we're the second highest spenders. We've got the money and we go ahead and budget it. It's not that we're spending it. I didn't say we were the second highest spenders.
Okay.
All right. So taking a look at this, you've heard the budget. Any other questions, comments? So this is the hearing. That concludes that part. The adoption itself is set for September 29th at 6 p.m. All right. Then we go on to Form 17, the salaries for 2026, remaining the same for the trustee, $15,065. Members of the township board, there's one trustee, there's 3 members of the township board, 690 per year. Those numbers are per year. The investigator is set at $185.21 gross per month. And maybe I didn't give you all a copy of that. Because those numbers
Salaries are remaining unchanged.
Trustee and board are unchanged. The investigator, there is an increase in that.
Who is the investigator?
What's that?
Who's the investigator?
Tanya Clement.
And it's increasing.
Yes. Whereas we were elected officials, she is a hired employee.
Okay.
All right, with that in mind, then we'll go ahead and pass this around for signatures.
Going for president. There you go. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
We'll do it once.
Just one form only. All right, then we have the credit card policy adoption. With the upgrades and slash changes with Brightspeed, the telephone slash internet provider, we've had to go either to credit card or automatic withdrawal from the checking account, and between that being unadvisable or not allowed by state policy, we're going to have to adopt a credit card policy. Just for the record, until this was adopted and I get a credit card, I will have to be reimbursed, and that number will show up on the annual meeting, because I had to go ahead and put it on my personal credit card. So I've got the receipts with the check numbers on those. Just going over this, you all have read this, but it authorizes credit card use through this resolution. It shall be issued to the trust. It shall be issued to the office of the trustee, but not to the name of the trustee, and handled by the trustee. The purpose for the use of this card is for purchases or payment of services for which payment by check is not allowed, which Brightspeed is not, or presents reasonable difficulty. If the card is temporarily authorized for use by another person, the card shall be returned to the trustee once the use is completed. The designated responsible official or employee should maintain an accounting system or log, which should include the names of individuals requesting usage of the cards, their position, estimated amounts to be charged, fund, and account numbers to be charged, date the card is issued and returned. I don't foresee it needing to be loaned out to any board members.
And you will keep track of that log.
Correct. Purchase orders shall be issued in order to maintain a trackable accounting system, as in there'll be a record made that there was a charge made on the credit card for the internet, or if there's travel expense or lodging for the township conference or anything like that. There'll be a receipt for it. There'll also be the log slash the purchase orders. Then especially supporting documents such as paid bills, receipts, and receipts must be available. Additionally, any interest or penalty incurred due to late filing or furnishing of documentation by officer or employee shall be the responsibility of that officer or employee. If properly authorized, an annual fee may be paid. The credit card may not be used to obtain cash. Transactions shall be accessible in accordance with the public records laws. Credit card agreements shall not contain references to debt, which we have no debt anyway. Credit card bills must be paid by township check, not automatic withdrawal. Any rewards, bonuses are township property, not personal of any board member or trustee. Are there any questions?
No.
All right, I'll pass that around for signatures.
Have you already talked to Amy?
No, I haven't. I wanted to just get this done first.
And do you know how long it takes to get them?
No, they get it out to you personally right away. You know how they are. You know how they are. You know who they are.
I was just wondering if it was worth for the
Right. It may or may not. All right, let's see here. Travel and meal policy adoption in accordance with Indiana Code 5-11-14-1, 2024. The township trustee, board members, and township assistants investigators shall be compensated for lodging and up to $20 per meal while in attendance for training sessions, conferences, and meetings called by the Indiana State Board of Accounts and the Indiana Township Association. Lodging shall be compensated for meetings more than 50 miles from the township office. Receipts for said expenses shall be presented prior to reimbursement. So through these, they'll either be reimbursement or they'll go straight onto the card. Any comment or
This is
questions?
just the policy for lodging and meals.
Lodging, meals,
Okay.
travel. Travel's already set by code.
Okay.
As far as reimbursement.
Just needed the wording after that.
Who made this?
Both of the policies come from templates made by the Indiana Township Association. You know I don't write that fancy.
Well, the reason why I asked, we would use them, but would there ever change?
It could be changed, yes.
Depending on
Uh,
inflation.
And really, here we go. That was a limit. Here we go. Like I said, it was a template used. I imposed that amount.
Because like the, where you stay is nothing there at all.
Correct. It's the only lodging that there is when I have gone to the Indiana Township Association training conference in September, which I'm signed up for. And so that in itself already is, this was the only thing that really wasn't specific already. All right, the interlocal agreement with the town of Monroe concerning the town park. Justin Schaefer with the town of Monroe contacted me if there was any help that the township, Monroe Township, could have with their park. Initially, I didn't think we could. I looked into it, started asking questions, and I was advised, well, I'll back up even. The State Board of Accounts indicated if you come up with an interlocal agreement with the town of Monroe, that they would not take an exception in an audit. They would find nothing wrong with that. So since I skipped the capital improvement plan because I'm identifying so much with one. I've already started with the interlocal agreement. Let's go with that.
Let's finish that.
Let's finish that. So the lawyer for the town attorney for the town of Monroe is going to be working on, and Justin's going to be presenting this to the town of Monroe board as far as the possibility of us helping with that. As far as amounts, that's after he presents it to the town council, they'll get with us. But it is legal, it can be done. We'll have a legal document, or the town of Monroe is going to have a legal document drawn up.
Is it a binding document that we have to do every year then if we do it once?
That's a good question. I'll use the word binding when I ask that question to them.
Or is this just like at will? Like we can do it, yeah.
Right now, there's funding through the rainy day fund, which you'll see in the capital improvement plan.
So what exactly would it be for? Adding stuff to the park?
Both adding items to the park, ADA compliance, upgrading.
There's not much to the park.
Right, that's the
It's
thing
a
that
pretty
they're working.
minimal park. I didn't even realize it was a park until I met someone there when my kids were little. It's very clean. It's well taken care of. There's just not a lot for the town going on there.
And so the residents of the town of Monroe that live south of Washington Street /124 are Monroe Township taxpayers anyway.
Right.
So their tax money is going into our coffers.
So that's what I was asking, whether it was gonna help cover them.
My preference is that we provide material that will benefit the entire town, not maintenance. Now, I would prefer that our money go toward a physical
Capital
maintenance,
improvements.
the capital improvements, whether that's a pavilion, park benches, actual play equipment, picnic tables,
Updating things.
updating what they have. I just want it to be, I prefer it to be something tangible that the town can.
Right. And,
Enjoy.
that was Justin's wording.
Now, is this gonna affect doing something ours?
The
No, because
They're
it's
not in our
south.
township.
Bryce asked the same question.
Yeah.
The park for the city of Bern is in Wabash Township.
Yep, that is, that's right. That's Wabash's
I
job.
just thought a second. I would've-
Yeah,
Let me find the last communication I had with them. And keep
I think we should put a town.
There it is.
Have you been to the state park in town?
Yes,
Have you done
yes. Actually carried one of my kids all the way up there and down.
it?
That was in my younger days.
Okay.
And this is his indication also. Money will be to go towards new equipment, trails, sidewalks around and through the park, basketball / pickleball courts, etc. The money is not to be used for the upkeep of the grounds, such as mowing, weeds, trees, building signs. That's his intention. It could also be used towards ADA compliance.
Okay.
You got
what did you call that, Dad, when you said
Capital improvement.
yes? Thank
So
you.
who's gonna decide what is done?
So this
he's
is,
putting together a park board.
Okay.
I would love
Like
if this there'd be something in the document that just says they will submit to us what the funds are going toward.
I'm sure there will.
Specifically, if we could have,
Specific.
it doesn't have to be a super detailed itemized, but I prefer like your funds went toward
Right.
this pavilion or went toward this path or made these things ADA or whatever it is compliant.
Good job.
So I would just prefer to have that
Yes.
just so that we can say we're very clear about where our funds are going so that we all have a really good grasp on where
Right.
the money has gone and is going.
Right. Again, another way of being accountable. So I've written down the word that Bryce used. Nice to meet you, Bryce. The word that Bryce used, binding, as far as year by year or ongoing, or is it
right,
on a year by year
right,
basis?
yes.
And then the word used is, we want to know specifically what's being used this
And,
year.
and if it
Purpose.
is something they're going to need over a course of a few years, I'm not saying it's a hard no, but I want to know what that end date is.
Uh-huh.
You know, if it's a multi-year improvement plan, that's something we need to know ahead of time.
Right.
I think we'll have
Right.
to we'll look at it before we approve it, right?
Definitely.
I thought that's what you're saying. Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you.
So
I'm all for parks.
Yeah, my other question though is why hasn't this happened before? Why are we getting involved? Is it that expensive? Is it?
Didn't the county gift it back to them?
There you go.
So
There
now
you go.
they got
It
to
originally
start
was a
paperwork.
county park in the town of Monroe. So now the town of Monroe wants to take it and do more with it.
And yes, that would be
Which it
so
needs
nice.
to
It
be
would be
done.
so nice for Monroe to have that park
I'm just curious
Updated,
because it's like
really
why all of a sudden.
accessible.
Right, it's things changed around as far as ownership, and it's, here we go. Here's the beauty of local government. Hey, Adams County has great county government. The town of Monroe has great town
Yes.
government. So
Uh-huh.
therefore, the town now has a park. It's right there. They feel responsible for it and want to do something
That's
to make
great.
it better.
I love that.
I
That's
know
good.
she said She wanted to know what it was actually for. I wonder if we should have a percentage that we spend per year.
Well, they're gonna let us know how much they need, right?
Right.
They're gonna
And
request
I'm not
an
gonna
amount.
pay 100% of what I want.
Mm-mm. And really,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
here we go. We could use percentages as far as the balance of a rainy day fund. We could use as far as how we formulate it.
That's what you said,
But
let
in
them
a
come up with-
legal document, it's going to have to be a dollar amount.
So we can look at their proposal and
I
go from there and
understand
say,
that,
we're,
but I'm saying,
once we have the amount though, Nancy, we can look at it and say, we're willing, like, this is how much your whole project costs, we're willing.
and what
to give this
percentage
much.
of that
Another
money are we using of our stuff?
Right.
Is what I'm asking.
We don't know yet
Are
until
you
we see
saying it's
the
from a
amount.
rainy day?
It would come out of the rainy day fund, yes.
Does that make sense on there?
Yes, it does.
Which,
You
and
You wanna
here
know
we
where
go.
it's coming from. That's a
Here
good
we go.
question.
Spend the whole rainy day.
And I like also, yes. Match. They're looking, so it's not like they're going to go in and spend oodles and oodles of money and have Taj Mahal. No, it's pretty much going to be a match basis. We're going in on this together. We're still on the local agreement, interlocal agreement with the town of Monroe concerning the park, right?
I think we should proceed with it.
Nancy has another question.
What else or who else is going to be participating in this?
It's going to be participating in
Providing for the park.
providing for the
Yeah.
park,
It's not gonna be
I'm
just
sure the
us.
Monroe citizens will be.
the town,
The-
the town of Monroe through as far as part of their budget. Who else? They could, I do not know. Another source is soliciting funds, fundraising / asking for donations. I do not know.
I think they will. I think they will. I'm sure
I mean,
that
I
they
have no idea
are putting
what they
together a
even
full
are planning
plan.
on doing, but hopefully not a whole bunch of one. Okay.
Okay, so,
His approach seemed to be measured as far as a slow progression or a moderate progression.
do we need a motion to proceed? What do we need?
Let's take a look.
Or can we agree that?
We can have an informal
We are
agreement
open.
just made that we like the idea and
We'd like to
we're
see-
waiting for more information from the town of Monroe. If they want to shoot us a proposal,
And
we can
make a
look
motion.
at
So is it fair to say that all board members are in agreement with moving forward with an
Nice.
interlocal agreement?
I like that. All members and the trustee even.
And I have lots of details in here, all we discussed, which should answer a lot of people's questions.
Right?
Okay,
Then we have the capital improvement plan, which the first sheet, if I did it right, the first sheet is a summary. Then I'll explain how I got to that summary. You look on the second sheet. Remind me, and I'm going to come back to this at the end, the beginning, since it showed me what we're going to wind up with. These are different ideas between thinking about the interlocal agreement and the cemetery projects that are going on and looking into the future. A few updates on what's the word?
Live stream.
Right. Laptops, live stream equipment, ever how often that's mentioned through the years. As far as, we're looking from 2026 all the way up to 30, not that long, all the way up to 2034, as far as different things that could take place or different things that could happen. And it's in no set order as far as the ongoing Maslin Cemetery improvements, fencing, foundation, gates. I've thought about a flagpole at Smith Cemetery, especially, possibly Maslin.
This goes until the year lit.
But then we have to light it.
That's what I thought about also. No, though not all cemeteries do that. I'm glad you brought that up.
What year is this? Sorry. 20.
You know what?
30.
This is, yeah, it goes up to 2034.
It's
Some-
at least the following 3 years. So.
Correct. At least for the following 3 years are mentioned. And these can, when we adopt this plan, that's what it is, PLAN plan, as far as different ideas. These can be moved around from 1 year to the next. They can be put off. At least we have this in mind as far as this is how we want to improve what the township is responsible for. The Smith Cemetery, really, since I've been trustee, the first half of the lane to get to the cemetery, we improved that, depending on what time of year it was, especially with mud, you couldn't get back there. At least you can get to the cemetery now. We can include that lane to give more stability to anybody that needs to get back there with a vehicle. If there's marker repair, marker replacement, there's several years where I have listed park improvements with the town of Monroe that we just discussed.
Okay.
All right, so that is how we arrived at all the other sheets. That went into the formula. So you see, as far as the rainy day fund, we pretty much took up everything that could be there on the rainy day fund. There was some left over. Okay, what I mean on that is anything that is budgeted between regular budgeted items like we looked at in what we are approving or what we had the hearing for tonight, and the items for the capital improvement plan. When you add all that up, we take care of everything that's available in the rainy day fund. We do have a few things. We do have some in the general fund that there's a balance when that's left over. We take that balance of $4,959, again, an estimated balance. 30% of that is to be transferred to the Township Road and Infrastructure Fund. That's a balance of $1,488 that could be transferred, or that would be transferred.
Is that a new state law?
Yeah, brand new this year, right off the books. So
whether we spend it or not.
Correct. It gets adjusted every year. We're going to do this every year now.
Okay, so what's the best plan of action here? Do we want to give more money away?
Between
Or collect less?
Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like
Collect
what's collect
and when
less.
I talked with some of the trustees and who else was it about this, I explained the conundrum that we are in, because often when we have the budget presented to us, example, the maximum fire levy, we could get twice as much coming into the fire fund as what we're accepting, but we're not. Really, the fire fund is pretty much what we get in, we spend. What we get in, we spend. The township budget, that has gotten to be, we've got some surplus there. Again, we go back to 15 years ago, give or take, 2010, 2011, 2012, right after I became trustee for the second go around. Our budget was hurting bad. We were not treading water. We were going under. So we went through, there was an emergency fire loan. There was a maximum levy adjustment that was done so that we could get ahead. And now we are reaping the benefit of that. So yeah, we have brought that up before, and we've often said, hey, what if all of a sudden they pass a law that penalizes us or that takes that money away because we didn't spend it?
Right.
I'd say now we've got a cushion that we could weather another storm. So we could look at the general fund.
I'm not saying we have to change anything. I'm just curious what's the best course of action here going forward with this change.
We can monitor it for the next year. as far as bring this in, see how many capital improvement plan, what part of it does get done. Then again, there is regular spending that could eat into this also, and that's going to bump the numbers next year.
Right.
That could diminish the numbers next year, I guess I could say. How we arrived at what's going to be left over. These two sheets show the historical estimates, meaning this is pretty much in grade 2025, what we are going to be bringing in this year as far as property tax levy. We don't know what the property tax levy is going to be. I just heard J.D. Prescott on WOWO talk about he's introducing a bill to eliminate property taxes. That's a big measure. And then, of course, we're not going to get into how they're going to make up the difference. But therefore, he said, if this passes, and he's not sure it's going to pass, it's a big measure to do. If it passes in the year 2028, maybe the year of pay 2029, there's not going to be property taxes coming in. So therefore, we're not going to, how's that going to affect the township? We don't know.
Right.
So to get the numbers that we saw on our estimates, that's what we did, as far as I did pretty much maintain. The local income tax has gone down through the years. Then it's bounced back up. The other revenues, that is Trust Indiana. We've gone down to double digits as far as $10, $20, $30 coming in per month. We were as much as $500 to $600 and coming in per month, and we're back up $500 to $600 per month. So estimating these, I understand why we do it, to come up with a plan, but estimating, we don't know what it's going to be like in the future.
Right.
So that's how these numbers were arrived at, as far as good faith estimates and then looking at possibilities.
I just need to mark that it was presented.
Presented. Here I am. Let's see here.
Nothing we need to sign or approve.
I knew I'd have to go get something. Let me go look through. Got my notes there. Let me go look through my folder.
I'm curious why the years were not the same.
Because I could have gone completely year by year. That would have been the brain working one way. But if you notice, I went by fund. I went by one fund first. Which one? Take a look at me. Here, all the general fund is together and all the rainy day fund
Yeah,
is together. So that's how I decided to do it.
I love your red kitchen. Never seen that before. Supposed to be red, white, and blue. Mine was red, white, and yellow for a while.
Yeah.
7 cheery.
Yeah. You need to,
Hey, that red looks really nice. Well, mine used to have the side things like yours has, the shelves, and
everything is original.
it's pretty.
Side and the line,
Yeah.
it's not straight.
It's curved. I see that.
So I can't imagine trying to redo it.
Well, if you did and it was squared off, you'd run into it. Probably.
Yes.
How long have you
Probably.
lived here? Wow.
And this has been built in 1876.
Okay. It's pretty cool.
So hopefully it'll turn it up. I get ready to I'm not ready to get rid of it.
Carpets, you said? Did new carpets or just new flooring? Get vinyl flooring,
The wood stuff.
the wood-looking vinyl. We got that. We love it.
Someone said that if you get the good stuff, don't scratch it.
Well, this guy I know.
You're not related, are you?
No. So for real, we got Cali vinyl, and my dogs can't scratch it.
I'm
Deep
more concerned
clean.
about the furniture.
I
getting
deep clean,
into.
steam mop it. Oh, I have couches and everything on my vinyl. Doesn't scratch it. I shove my furniture all over them.
Well, the other thing is, I know there's a couple times we talked about the porch event and everything keeps getting push back. Something happens.
All right, here we go.
What are we signing, Jay?
The capital improvement plan itself.
Okay.
Of all the sheets of paper I needed to have in the packet, hey, only one was missing.
Proud of you.
There were a lot of H's, that's for sure. Yeah, some people say, you know.
All right,
minimal-
pass that around. You've got a I and you've got a nay.
Okay.
I can't even tell you what years I've had some of these things. Some of those ones are happening.
There you go. All right.
So at least I got, you know. A lot of lines right now.
Oops. I signed on the Trish.
Above me. Should I sign above?
All right, thank you very much. Let's see, let me keep all this together. So I already addressed it, so then that brings us up to the summary page at the beginning. We've got $4,959 from the general fund that's not accounted for as far as it's not, like Dave Ramsey said, it's not assigned a job.
It's not allocated.
It's not out, right. So 30% of that is $1,488, which can go to the Township Road and Improvement Fund. Whatever the name of that is.
Okay.
All right, next meeting is the
It is
budget adoption, September 29th, 2025, 6 p.m. We'll also have the fire contracts ready. Any input, any other input?
What was the date of the next meeting?
September 29th.
Okay, make sure I have it here yet.
I'm gonna double check my calendar too, but I'm sure it's on there. Okay, great.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you very much. You all have a great evening.